Oxy-Dry. And it was a pretty small job. I just have this room and a little bit of a hallway and a set of stairs to do. There's a few stains here, something strange going on here, and a couple other less, well, smaller just stains here and there. This is a nylon. I don't know how old it is. Probably at least 10 years old, I guess. Yeah, at least 10, 15 years. Anyway, it should be a pretty straightforward clean. I just gave it a good vacuuming. Did all the edges and corners, of course, and got the steps pre-vacuumed as well. So let's give it a clean, see what happens. Engage the clutch with the hub, and we should be ready to roll now. There we go. These nylon sure clean nice. See, I just sort of tilt the machine slightly and just drive right over the mullion there. No problem at all. As you can see, I can literally go up and touch the baseboard with the pad because it's extending out past the pad driver. So we can literally clean right along that baseboard without any problem at all. I remember reading comments from some guys saying that you can't do along edges with a rotary. And it's so easy to lose control and bash into the wall and everything. Like, okay, well, maybe if you don't know how to operate the machine, that would happen, I guess. But anyway, obviously that's not the case. This is 300 RPM now, which is 360-degree cleaning passes per second on the carpet fiber. There's obviously a bed here. straightforward job, I think. Making sure I do a nice even pass and application here. That's my my application right there, by the way. That's it. Just making sure I keep this pad damp. That's all I need. Just enough moisture to dissolve and emulsify the soil. Without washing the without overwetting, which can wash the soil into the backing, which we don't want. We only want to dissolve and emulsify and lift the soil up and out, transferring it onto the pad with the soil extraction transfer technology. Saw a post on another forum, I guess it was yesterday. Somebody was saying how they were in California. Maybe a lot of you guys are watching this know about this, but the guy was saying he had to get rid of his truck mount, which was, I think it was in an Isuzu truck, and he had to get rid of it because his vehicle was no longer, or the whole setup, I guess, was no longer compliant with the, I guess it's the environmental regulations that are being implemented there in California, which is, you know, the most extreme state, I guess, for those sort of things. Anyway, he has to now basically get rid of his truck mount because he'll be breaking the law, I guess, if he keeps using it. And that's the future, guys. These sort of things are happening with different places getting more strict on where things are getting dumped. You know, where your waste tank and all that kind of stuff. I saw this coming many years ago, and that's one of the reasons why I developed the and focused on the SETT method, because I figured a long time ago that this will be the future. And my initial thought was simply because of the cost of operating was just simply too much for truck mounts. I mean, yeah, you can make good money running a truck mount, I get that, but the amount of money that it costs you, and if you're an owner operator, if you're just a small operation, when you sit down and you factor what everything actually costs you, because you have to earn the money, you factor that into what you earn as opposed to what you take home. That's what you got to figure. It's not about simply the gross amount of money you make. It's about how much money you end up with after you forked out all your expenses and overhead and everything. And when you have to fork out nearly $100,000, sometimes more, for a truck mount, depending on what one you get, and you have to earn the money to pay for that, and then a few years down the road, you're looking at having to replace it because they do wear out. Well, mind you, they can last if you take care of them, but of course then there's the incredible expense of maintaining them, and then add on the amount of money we have to fork out for fuel, which is continuing to go up. many things. And that's why many years ago I figured, you know what? The best way to go is to get a rotary machine. This was my thought many, many years ago, 30 years ago. The rotary is the future. I believed that way back then. And although the OPs have come along and challenged that, I still think the rotary is a better option, but that's mostly a personal opinion, but it's based on some real-world experience and knowledge and understanding, I guess. But either way, the cost of operating is just so dramatically less. Especially if you're just an owner-operator guy, it's much better, economically speaking, alone to go with the SETT method. A lot less stressful, but there is a learning curve to get really good at doing this. I get that. But once you get the hang of it, you won't go back. I guarantee it. This, by the way, is a move out. She's moving to Montreal. That's a long way away from here. Okay, we're gonna stop and we'll take a look at this pad here, and then I gotta do the steps. Okay. Interesting to see what's on here. Well, you can see how shiny the fibers are there. Actually, that pad feels fairly warm. Interesting. Okay, we'll let you go. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.